What is good, Tesla family? It's your boy Ray J back with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what I think is going to play out for the future of this company. I'm also going to talk about the overall stock market and the latest pieces of news that just came out that are going to be affecting it. I'm also going to talk about the latest pieces of news and updates for Tesla and what's the man, the myth, the legend Elon Musk put on his Twitter page that makes me super bullish and excited for this company, guys. He has some huge updates, but before I do talk about them, before I say anything about Elon Musk and his Twitter, before I say anything about Tesla, I do have to mention some very important things. First off, I'm not a financial, legal, or taxation expert, so don't take this as financial, legal, or taxation advice. Everything in this video is solely for entertainment purposes only. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo, you're not only going to qualify for an iPhone 13 Pro giveaway, meaning you may win an iPhone 13 Pro, but you're also going to get up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500. So with that out of the way, guys, let's get on with the video. So check this out, guys. We had a crazy day for Tesla, and in my previous video I told you guys something that did not end up happening, but it did have a lot of truth behind it. So my indicators from yesterday, guys, they showed that Tesla had a bottom at 928, or at least support in the $920 range. And a lot of indicators were showing Tesla should have a very good run. And that's exactly what we initially saw. We saw Tesla explode all the way up to almost $1,000, just what I told you guys. But then something I did not anticipate, and this is something that you guys have to remember about the market, and indicators are not always perfect. Sometimes some crazy thing could happen that could cause a big reversal. And that's what happened. We went from 1,000 all the way down to almost $920. We absolutely crashed right after, so it was a big reversal. So once again, guys, we ran up like crazy, then we dropped, but it wasn't just Tesla, guys. Tech stocks across the market dropped. In fact, almost the entire market is in the red right now, and that's something very significant that I have to talk about. So what is going on? Why is the market in the red? And we have to talk about this. The S&P 500, it's highly correlated with that of Tesla. We had a very good run up to about $472. Then we reversed and dropped all the way down to $464. Now, I didn't anticipate us to drop after we ran up, but at the end of the day, guys, it happened, and we have to talk about what is going on. So check this out right over here. It has been reported that the Fed is going to be doubling the taper rate, and they're eyeing for 3 interest rate hikes in 2022. However, this doesn't mention something else they just talked about, and that is the fact that there are going to be 3 more interest rate hikes in 2023. Jerome Powell just talked about that to basically address inflation, and that's something that's very important for the market to be considering. So what on earth is going on? If I scroll a little bit down and show you guys something very cool, check this out right here. It basically talks about the fact that the central bank officials, they have been purchasing $120 billion in treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities throughout most of the pandemic in order to keep credit cheap and stabilize the financial markets. Now, in November, the Fed officials, they basically announced that they're going to scale back on this buying. So they're tapering by $15 billion a month. Now, even though that could be relatively good news, the problem is inflation is basically kind of getting out of control. And Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, he said that inflation is not necessarily just going to be transitory, so to speak, or at least it's less transitory than he anticipated, making him a little bit more hawkish. This means that inflation at this higher rate could continue up until mid 2022, or at least early 2022. It's going to continue from this point, which is why the Fed is now raising interest rates. So we're not going to see interest rates or mortgages this cheap in the future. They're going to start rising them. And when they rise them, they're going to rise them 3 times basically in 2022 and another 3 times for 2023. This is leading to some fear, guys. Look at how the market is just basically reacting to these crazy FUD articles coming out. Look at this article that just came out. It says why the Fed may have to kill the stock market's rally to squash inflation. Now, once again, guys, how would you describe this? It's very similar to something that happened in 2008. Market makers are doing all sorts of crazy things, from shorting companies, and if they can't keep up with the margin requirements in the prime brokers, it's very easy to just blame the overall market. Look at this right here. The fear and greed index, it's closer to the extremely fearful side right now instead of the greedy side. We just bounced off from a very greedy run down to a little bit more fearful, and that's because of all the flood going on and many other things. There's also the Evergrande situation that's playing a big role, meaning we could see a lot of housing issues in China, which in turn can affect big institutions in the US and the stock market as well. So what does this mean for Tesla? So I'm very bullish for the long-term future. You guys know that we could still see some very big moves, but because because of the fear right now, people are just very afraid, and that's leading to the sell-off. So here's what's happening. So there are people that were around in the stock market back in 2000, back in 2008, maybe even back in the 90s, the 80s, who knows how long, and they're well aware of what interest rates are going to do. So people are already anticipating a big, correction in the market coming, and I think the big correction is really going to start after the interest rates are well into their risen form. So maybe I would say mid to late 2022 up until 2023 is when we should have a major correction. However, guys, we're not just there yet, which means the market could still have a reversal. But right now, it's looking very fearful. And something I once heard Kathy Wood say is that when people are fearful, when they panic sell, there's no telling how much they can keep doing this. So I want to talk about Tesla right now. What's going on with Tesla? As you guys can see, this thing could still run. Okay, I told you guys we'd have a big run, and that's exactly what happened. We didn't close that way, but I was right about that part, even though I wasn't entirely correct. But we did manage to go from like the low 900s all the way up to almost 1,000 in just like within a couple of hours. I mean, that's just crazy. Tesla was just killing it. Then we dropped to about 5.03% in the red. So from the 1 day chart, just a crazy, crazy day, guys. The after hours were just killing it, and it just reversed. From Bollinger Band standpoint, we touched the lower band for the large majority of the day, meaning that we could continue on this downward trend. Now let's look at some EMAs, the MACD, the RSI, and the other indicators that I often look at, and they're all showing some very, very similar things. So let me remove that real quick. Check this out right here. So if we look at how Tesla has been moving, guys, it's basically moving the way a lot of us had anticipated. Now, right now, even though you could argue that Tesla's a little bit undervalued, so to speak, it doesn't look like we're going to see a very sharp reversal very, very soon. It looks like we might continue a little bit more from this downward trend. So I do think we have very strong support at 900. It is possible for us to even go that low, but it's very hard for me to make a prediction, guys. Like I told you guys, there's a lot of fear in the market. It's very hard for me to predict it, but the MACD is kind of indicating that we do have very strong support around the $920 range, which is what I told you from before. The question is, are we going to hold it? My answer to that is I can't promise anything because there's a lot of panic and uncertainty in the market right now. The media is just making it much worse. And at the end of the day, when things like this happen, you have to look at the long term of a company. You have to look at the fundamentals and just know that Tesla is still crushing it. Tesla is not the reason why it's in the red. Tesla is not doing horrible things. In fact, they're doing everything right, or at least next to everything right. So don't let all this fear, all this basically chaos that's being driven by the media scare you into doing anything based off your emotions. So what I think is happening right now is the market could have a very sharp reversal, or it could just continue dropping. It's so hard for me to predict it because these indicators are not 100% perfect, as I showed you guys yesterday. So what is probably going to happen is I think we're going to test the support at 920. If that doesn't hold, we could drop as low as the 910s, if not to 900. However, guys, it's not the end for Tesla. If you wait it out, eventually we're going to have a very sharp recovery. RSI is still not too weak. It's at 45.7. It's a little bit low for Tesla standards, but the MACD is showing that we could be a little bit sideways right now because we have that support. I'm not 100% sure if the support is going to last at 920. If the FUD keeps on continuing like this, we could drop a little bit more. So I want you guys to be prepared for that. If it does drop, it's really up to you to do whatever you want. You could try selling now and buying in at a lower price, but that's very hard to do sometimes because of how capricious the market is. At the same time, you could just keep buying and trying to dollar cost average down. And in my opinion, even though it's not financial advice, in my opinion, that has worked a lot better for me because no matter what Tesla does, at the end of the day, I do believe over the longer period of time, we're going to see good returns. And that's a more secure way of getting them. Now, before I go into more detail about this, let's just talk about what the news is saying as well. We have this right over here, which I just think is a pretty good sign for Tesla. Inside EVs reported that Tesla has over 50% fewer short sellers than at the start of 2021. Once again, that's a better sign right now, but I'm not sure if this is going to stand. There may be a lot of shorting going on right now. There may be lots of malice practices. I can't make any calls, but I'm just putting it out there that there's crazy, crazy things going in the market. No, I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I'm just putting it out there that as of right now, there aren't as many short sellers as before, which means that Tesla may be able to make some very crazy moves to the upside once again. Once again, the market is in a crazy state right now, okay? We could see a Santa rally, but at the same time, we may not because of all this crazy news. It's just absolutely crazy. It's very hard to predict right now, but I just want to put it out there. There's not as much shorting now as before, which is a good sign. I also want to talk about this right now. The mainstream media tends to be against Tesla, and they're just saying saying all these crazy things. The Motley Fool is now promoting other stocks such as Lucid. And even though I do think Lucid is a great company, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to just choose one over the other. I think that if I were in that position, if I wanted to diversify, I could just buy both of them. So I don't like the idea of doing that, but I just want to put it out there that the media tends to promote other EV stocks over Tesla. So that's nothing to be surprised about. And the FUD is just continuing. As for the good news for Tesla, guys, we have some very great things coming out. Electric reported that Tesla Model S prototype was spotted with a new charge port and taillights. Very good news, guys. Once again, this is very good news because we may be seeing a European version of the Tesla Model S. It tends to be very popular in China and Europe as well. That's a very good sign in my opinion. And once again, they're improving the production with the new Gigafactory coming out. And I do have a big update involving the Gigafactory from Elon Musk. I'm going to show you guys that in a couple of minutes. Another big piece of news is the fact that the Drive.com reported that the New York Police Department might buy 250 Tesla Model 3Ss in a $12.4 million deal. Could you guys imagine going outside and seeing Tesla police cars? That would be the craziest, most amazing thing in my opinion. And that may become a reality, guys. We're getting closer and closer to seeing that. And I just think it would be the coolest thing in the world. So I'm just putting it out there. But remember, it says it might, so it's not confirmed just yet. And I'm just putting it out there, guys. That would be very awesome. Now, I want to talk about this right over here. And that's the fact that Elon Musk has made a different move from what a lot of people thought. Basically, these articles are coming out about how Elon Musk has been selling, selling, selling. However, guys, it may not be what you think. Is he just selling even more? The last time he sold was just a couple of days ago, but I just want to put it out there. There's actually a lot more things going on. Elon Musk is not just selling Tesla shares, guys. If you guys look at this right over here, he did sell some, but at the same time, he paid taxes on the exercise of stock options to buy another 2.12 million shares of Tesla, according to US securities filings. Meaning, even though he sold 11.03 million shares, he acquired 12.87 million shares since November 8th, which means that Elon Musk is not just selling, guys. Don't let the media scare you. He's simultaneously buying. In fact, a couple of days ago, he bought more than what he sold, and I'm just putting it out there. He still has faith in this company. He has more shares, and he's not quitting, guys. He still believes. I want to end the video with some Elon Musk tweets now. Elon Musk tweeted something absolutely awesome. He stated this. He stated that Giga Texas, or the Gigafactory in Texas, is a $10 billion investment over a long period of time. And excuse me, it's a $10 billion plus investment, generating at least 20,000 direct and 100,000 indirect jobs. He may be saying this in reference to the criticism he has been getting from, other people, but I'm just putting it out there. The Gigafactory in Texas is going to be absolutely incredible, and it is creating jobs, guys. 100,000 indirect jobs and 20,000 direct jobs at the very least. Once again, a very bullish sign. The media is starting to report this as well. That makes me super excited. And there's no telling what else they're going to be doing. This could be where we're going to see the Cybertruck coming. And the Cybertruck should be starting production, from what Elon Musk stated, either in late 2022, if not early 2023. Once again, a very, very good bullish sign, making me super excited for Tesla. I also want to end with this right over here. Someone stated that they just got their Tesla insurance and they never thought a 21-year-old with 4 years of driving history could have a 6-month premium of under $400. The power of real data. Number of years driving does not equal safe driver. Once again, there's massive truth behind that. And Elon Musk responded with the heart. So he's just basically responding to this news. The fact that Tesla is not just a car company, they're not just an energy company, but they're also an insurance company, guys. Once again, another very bullish indicator, because Tesla has its hands in next to everything, in my opinion. They're a software company, they're an AI company, they're just doing everything very well. So what do I think is going to play out for the long term? Now, once again, as you guys know, I'm very, very bullish for Tesla for the long term. Can we drop a little bit in the short term? Sure, we can. We may even stay in some accumulation channels over somewhat long periods of times, like a couple of weeks, a couple of months. But at the end of the day, as long as you keep accumulating shares, in my opinion, non-financial advice, you will get a return if you wait a particular amount of time. If you give it the time, we're going to see more innovations come out. And if you don't believe me, guys, when in doubt, remember to zoom out. Let me just close all these indicators to make this very clear. Look at the last 5 years of Tesla. 5 years is not an extremely long amount of times. This thing would be worth $35. Okay, back in 2019. That's not that long ago. This thing would be worth only $35. It's currently at over 926. It's still doing well. And I do think this upward trend is going to continue as time progresses. So, with that said and done, guys, thank you for listening. When in doubt, zoom out and never ever give up on your dreams. I'm very bullish and excited for Tesla. And this is not the end, guys. We have a lot more room to run. Thank you and peace out.